Hi lovies, and welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Malinda's channel. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload a video, you will be the first person to be notified. And to my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos and also educate you guys are the real MVP. Thank you so much. Alright lovelies, let's dive into this video.
So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok where a lot of people are reacting to the fact that President Biden has actually resigned from the presidential candidate, and he decided to replace it with Kamala, and this got a lot of people reacting to it, and I was able to put up some of those stitches. I'm just gonna roll the clip as well as some of the stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Alright lovelies, let's dive into it.
So let's get to it. On Thursday, I posted the following video. Now, you might want to save this video so you can come back to it later and either cuss me out or acknowledge that I was right. But I anticipate this weekend, or definitely before the Democratic National Convention, that Joseph Biden will withdraw from his re-election bid for President of the United States. And today is Sunday, and President Biden announced that he will be withdrawing from the presidential race. I tried to get you all to have this conversation before now, but are you ready now? Just minutes ago, President Biden released the following letter. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made some great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world. We've made historical investments in rebuilding our nation, in lowering prescription drug costs for seniors, and in expanding the affordable health care program to a record number of Americans. We have provided critical needed care to 1 million veterans exposed to toxic substances, passed the first gun safety law in 30 years, appointed the first African-American woman to the Supreme Court, and passed the most significant climate legislation in the history of the world. America has never been in a better position to lead than we are today. I know none of this could have been done without you, the American people. Together, we overcome a once-in-a-century pandemic and the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We've protected and preserved our democracy, and we've revitalized and strengthened our alliances around the world. It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation to the American people for the faith and trust that you have placed in me. I believe today what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do when we do it together. We just have to remember we are the United States of America. Joseph Biden. So there you have it. President Biden has withdrawn from his re-election bid for the 2024 campaign. Are you all ready to talk about it now? I'll be live in just a moment. Let's get it.
So by now you've seen that Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential race and endorsed Kamala Harris to be the nominee on the Democratic ticket. And if you haven't seen that, I'm happy to be the one breaking the news for you. Here's what we're going to do. We are going to stand up and get full-throated behind Kamala Harris. We are ready to be fucking coconut pilled and ready to start fighting against Donald Trump and the Republican Party. With that being said, I am fully aware that a lot of people have reservations about Kamala Harris, and it's the people who are not in the political realm every day. I do this is for work. And so I am fully aware of what she actually has accomplished and who she is as a person. But I know a lot of people, friends, family, strangers, who are going to be a little concerned that she is now up as the number one prospective Democratic nominee, because people are like, oh, wait, they just don't know her. They don't like her. People are concerned about her. Here are the facts of the facts, right? She has been on this ticket of the most progressive presidential administration in my lifetime. Some would say in the lifetime of the entire country, depending on how you look at it. So she has that to run on. Whereas in 2019, when she was running a campaign, she only had a couple years as a senator and years as an attorney general to run on. Second, she is not the same person that you saw run a campaign 4 years ago. She's also not the same person you saw as vice president 3.5 years ago when all the stories about all of the staff turnover was happening. She is now running a tight ship. This is a fully functional office of people that she has working beside her that you can rely on from day one. She is a fantastic speaker. She knows what she's talking about. She has the women's reproductive rights on the agenda. She's got democracy on the agenda. She can prosecute the case against Trump being a 34-time convicted felon. She's extremely well spoken. She is young. She is much younger. She is 54 years old. And you can bet that that is going to be impactful for a lot of the youth turnout, because they said, we literally will vote for anyone else that is not 150 years old. So here's my call to action. Share this far, share this wide, share this within your soul, because this is going to be a tough 3 months. We are going out there and talking to every person who says, I'm concerned about Kamala Harris because she's not likable. You know why she's not likable, in your opinion? Is because nobody has taken the time to get to know her and make her likable. So if you just sit there, those of us that already like Kamala Harris, and say, no, actually, people do like her. Don't be worried. Don't be worried. That's one less person who's worried. And that's one person who will spread that to the next person who says, I'm concerned about her because I don't think people like her. And then that person will say, hey, no, actually, I heard a lot of people like her. And then that other person all of a sudden is like, no, you're right. I actually am hearing people like her. We are speaking this into existence. Any of the 2019 bullshit that she had to go through no longer exists. This is 2024. We've been through a lot. Excuse everything I look like. I literally just rolled out of bed to the news that Joe Biden dropped out of the race for 2024. How could I post the weekly roundup and not immediately update you with the biggest part of the entire weekly roundup? I'm gonna leave this announcement here for a second. All right, did you read that? Did you get all that? Did you screenshot that? So in case you didn't actually read it, it's on his Twitter, and he said that he will be addressing the country later this week about the decision writ large. He is staying president through the remainder of his term, so through January when the new president is inaugurated. And I don't know about you, but this feels like a very good time to me for all of us to get real comfortable being coconut pilled. I'm not saying that I spoke this into existence, but do you remember that video a little while ago that I said if Joe Biden drops out and Kamala Harris were to announce her VP pick at the RNC, I think she could very easily do it in even a funnier way now to really rile up Trump and the Republicans. I just think the time has come. Sundays, am I right?
You cannot make this up. President Joe Biden has suspended his re-election bid, leaving Kamala Harris to take over as the Democratic nominee for President of the United States. Now, Kamala Harris will go on to the Democratic convention where delegates will decide who is going to replace Joe Biden. And it's most likely to be Kamala Harris for 3 reasons. 1, she received Joe Biden's endorsement. 2, she has a claim to the hundreds of millions of dollars that Joe Biden has in his piggy bank. Nobody else has a claim to that money, just her. 3, she has name recognition nationally. Anybody who runs against her, Gretchen Whitmer, Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro, anybody, is statewide. Like, they don't have the national name recognition, and they won't be able to garner that recognition within the short period leading up to the election. So Kamala will clearly be the nominee, and it's time that everybody gets behind her because she is no Hillary Clinton, okay? She is so fierce. She is so popular among young voters, black voters, all voters, that this is like, thank you, Joe Biden, for doing this.
It's giving Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm sorry. Don't beat my ass, but that's how it feels. That's how I'm feeling right now. Joe Biden has dropped out of the presidential race for November 2024 and has endorsed Kamala Harris to be the Democratic nominee. I just think there's a big difference between Joe doing this in July of 2022 and July of 2024. It's not lost on me that we're only here because of Joe Biden's ego. Just like the makeup of the Supreme Court right now is what it is, And that has a lot to do with Ruth Bader Ginsburg's ego. The Democrats just showed terrible, piss poor succession planning. And the people that may have to pay for that in November is us, the American people. But Kamala is going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party. And what that means is we should get ready to see Hall of Fame levels of racism and misogyny and xenophobia in the coming months. But also remember, just because Joe Biden is dropping out doesn't mean that the things we've been complaining about and advocating for are just going to go away. Free Palestine.
She could never be the first woman president. She could never be. That would be an insult to our country.
Now that Joe Biden has dropped out of the race and selected Kamala Harris as his replacement, I'm pretty good. I'm good either way. A Donald Trump presidency would be awesome. We could end the wars, bring back our troops, not go to war with Russia, all those things. Those would be really great. We could reduce inflation instead of signing phony acts through actual economic policies that would benefit Americans. I would love that. However, a Kamala Harris presidency, wow. I mean, the entertainment value alone, the memes, the exposure of just how pathetic and ridiculous the Democrats and the deep state really are at running this country. Sometimes I really think you have to really hit rock bottom, for people to really learn their lesson. I feel like maybe right now, if Donald Trump gets elected and things go back and ho-hum and blah, 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 and everybody continues to hate Trump and everybody, the bickering continues, maybe we need Kamala to unite the country. Maybe we need someone so bumbling and incompetent, worse than Joe Biden, to really set us straight. What do you guys think?
Kamala Harris has raised $52 million today in small donors on ActBlue since she announced that she is running for president and President Biden stepped down from the race. This is the only third time that ActBlue has ever raised more than $50 million in one day, and it is the largest day of fundraising in this cycle for Democrats. Huge push for Harris, a huge sign that Democrats are newly motivated, newly energized as a result of Harris entering the race and Biden dropping out of the race. It's going to be very interesting for the Republicans, I think, at this point, because you've got a situation where the Republicans had prepared to take on Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not the candidate anymore. They're pissed. I mean, they're really pissed. Trump is threatening to not debate at all anymore. Republicans overall are getting claiming it's undemocratic that Biden dropped the race, which basically, bottom line here is Republicans have been demanding for 3 months that Biden drop the race. They claimed he had dementia. Remember, they claimed he was dying and all this kind of crap. Well, so Biden finally took their advice and dropped out of the race, and now they're complaining. Oops. Any case, big momentum for Democrats. Very interesting. Trump, I think, got huge momentum a week ago after he was shot, or as a result, after he was shot at, I should say. And now that Biden has dropped out and Harris at least is the lead in terms of nominees, candidates, big motivation for Democrats, big energy and big money. So good for Harris and good for Democrats. Stay tuned.
As a person that's retired, I just want to say shout out to Joe Biden, because sometimes you got to look at the good then the bad. He pretty much fought tooth and nail for student relief, and he tried. It was those same Republicans and those Democrats and also the liberals that was fighting against him. Every time when he made the law, they overdo it, and they even took it to every minute they were taking it to the Supreme Court. And he tried every single time. But when he gave the relief to some people, I just have to tell him thank you. I got to tell him thank you for Social Security, because especially for the retirees, for people that, you increase their Social Security, and even forcing some of these jobs to do long-term care and to give the health benefits and the assessments. I remember when Florida had the hurricane and there was another place that had a hurricane, he forced the insurance company to pay them. He said, pay the people them their money. They pay their premium on time, pay them their money. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people say, well, he didn't come to Ohio because of that situation and Trump came. Yeah, Trump came and gave people distilled expiration water. And he was just coming there to bring a face. He wasn't coming there with sincerity, because I never forgot what he did to Puerto Rico when he was throwing paper towel at the people there and making them feel like they were subjects. But the people in Puerto Rico, they still down with him, even though he was sitting there talking about Hispanic people, and he also insulted the people them from El Salvador. And I thought that was very disrespectful. And just like how he had cursed out the people that was Haiti, but knowing the Haitian people that's around, that live in this country, they're going to turn around and vote for him. Okay? Regardless. Because the majority of the black people, they're all rooting for him. Wearing that stupid hat. Okay? Talking about American great. Yeah, Trump going to make American great, all right? He going to make it great for his people, which is the rich people. And we're going to end up suffering the consequences for it. But moving right along. When he tried to reverse back the Obamacare, the original health care that we received, where we can have dental and medical, then he was trying to fight for the veterans to get paid. Remind you, when Trump was there and all he had to do was sign the bill to allow the veterans to receive their money and even receive their retroactive. Trump did not sign that. Trump just kept on making executive orders to change things of the things that he wanted to do. And then he had to then that's when he turned around and put it in a discussion for the Republicans to keep on tolerating on it. But Biden, when he signed that bill, okay, the Republicans went against him. Okay, another thing they did, they went and brought their son to go to jail. Okay, even though his son had done some things or whatever, but they were trying to test his buttons. Every time they kept on trying to want to impeach him. To tell you the truth, he got disrespected multiple times, and I'm talking about Biden. First and foremost, when people are showing things of him being prejudiced, the whole entire White House is prejudiced, including Trump, because Trump don't like black people. He don't like minorities. He don't even like disabled vets. Okay? Anything that does not look kosher to him, he's not going to touch it. Let's be honest. Because I never forgot. I saw the segment when the man was calling his name, the gentleman was calling his name, and he was I think he was a war veteran, and he was disabled, and he won't speak on the behalf of Trump. And Trump didn't even look at him. He didn't even touch him. He didn't even shake his hand. I remember when the man had a wheelchair, he was telling the Secret Service to wheel him out. Then Trump also did something nasty too. Because of this alleged assassination, everybody knows it was fake. Okay, let's keep it real. It was fake. He turns around maliciously and got that person who was in charge of the FBI to resign. And little do we know he hired those secret servants and he plotted the whole entire thing. He's a very deceptive son of a bitch, and I'm referring to Trump. Now, with Biden, on the other hand, he had tried to do all his due diligence and everything as a president. Now, Kamala Harris, I understand she had to be on the sideline and not show too much because that was not really her position. But to be honest, she never handled certain things. I'm seeing all you black folks putting blue hearts and talking about, oh, she's for the Sigma High Tide and HBC and everything. Yeah, but there was a women's organization called the Fearless Fund. She told the people that she was going to look into it. She never looked into it. Okay, remember, Kamala Harris' husband is from the largest community that has the money. Okay? It's the community that controls the government. It's the community that came with the law about anti-Semitic. Okay? She has to follow what that community says. Okay? Because even if she becomes the president of the United States, she still have to follow the community. They even allowing Netanyahu to come to the White House to do a press speaking. To do a conference. Now, honestly, we are not Israel. So why the hell is he coming over there to have a conversation and be live and wasting taxpaying money for this? Okay? This is what I'm talking about. Out of all the foreigners in the world, they have them controlling the White House. All right? And Trump is going to do the same thing too, as long as money talks. All right? Moving right along. I don't know why he's making a speech, because the ICC already said that what they did was illegal and they have to vacate, and they have to allow to get to stop this whole entire thing and the apartheid, because it's inhumane. Okay, Biden was basically siding with Netanyahu and giving money to Ukraine. But let me tell you something. If Trump was president, the only thing he wouldn't do was to give money to Ukraine, because Trump was doing business with Putin. If Trump wasn't doing business with Putin, he would have gave him the money. He would have done an even exchange. Okay? It's who they doing business partners with. Now with Netanyahu, he would have definitely gave him the money to do the war crimes and all that stuff like that because he would have invested into it. All right. Trump is a businessman. He doesn't do things legitimate, as we can see. But what people need to understand, why everybody's jumping up and down and shouting that, oh yeah, Biden, he had to do it because he was old and this and everything like that, and he couldn't do the job and they had to force him out and everything. Listen, he did this on his own. He came with the decision, say, listen, I ain't gonna waste my time with this. Okay, I'm tired of all this humiliation and people looking at me sideways and thinking that I'm stupid and stuck, and my health is more important than anything else. So moving right along, he said, I'm out. And he told Kamala, good luck. I give you all the endorsement. Here you go. This or whatever. But just like I said, she ain't going to win. All right. And I already broke down the reason. Just look at the other video. But as for Trump, I believe that this is going to be the work. This is going to really, truly demolish him as a president. Because guess what? He got everything on his lap. Because remember, Biden didn't have time to clean up everything that Trump had dirtied. Okay? He gonna have stuff from prior when he was a president versus with Biden's situation, and then added on with more fuel on the fire. And knowing with Trump, he gonna try to bypass those things, be vindictive, focus on all the people that basically got him. But this is not gonna overturn the decision in New York, because New York is going to try. They already tried him already, and he's already been marked guilty. And New York they're just waiting for the sentencing for him. And then the appeal is not denied in Florida. So they already to overturn that conviction. All right. And then the other one in Georgia, because he's supposed to be going to Georgia in October. So I guess he's going to be having his campaign over there too. All right, guys, this is my view about the whole scenario with Biden and also with Trump and all that stuff and so forth.
Like, seriously, lovelies, this is getting more interesting. So over the weekend, a lot of people were just, I was just going through my For You page on TikTok, and I was seeing people not talking about how, Biden has actually stepped down, from running for the presidential election and all of that. And people got, mixed reaction. A lot of people was the fact that, okay, we think that he's old enough, so he just needs to go and actually take more care of his health and all of that. So he now endorsed Kamala, which a lot of people still, okay, this is a go, because out of all the people that they were thinking that, Kamala is a very good one at that, and she happens to be the first, female president to, ever imagine all of that. This got a lot of mixed reaction. People were like, why would a woman run for this? She cannot even how it is with women handling some certain position. It didn't actually sit well with some people, while it still sits well with some people. But the fact is that Biden decided that he is going to step down and maybe take more proper care of himself. His health comes first and all of that, and which a lot of people was also in support. People were at the fact that, okay, it's just cool that enough of all of the elderly people running for this seat, that they can give chance and space for a little bit younger people and all of that. Like, people were just commenting, giving their own personal opinion and all of that. And this has been something that Biden has been trying to do for a very long time, which he has not really pronounced it so. But during the weekend, he decided to, like, okay, I think it's time for me to actually hand this over, then get done with it, focus more on myself, my health and all of that. And Kamala, from the other hand, she's a very young, striving woman who, I think she was better in the US and all of that. Her parents, I think, has to do with Indian and all of that. And A lot of people were still okay. We are still gonna vote for blue, no matter what, no matter who the person is. Blue is still better off, Trump and all of that. And people were still, supporting her. A lot of guys were, especially, the Republicans. I saw so many, commentaries bashing her, trying to like bring in her human, like her womanhood in the picture. Like, I don't know why they're actually bringing her womanhood in the picture. They said that what a man can do, a woman can actually do better. Why not just still, give it a chance? Even if there is still nobody that is still perfect to run for this, but at least there should be, some kind of manager or something that you can manage and all of. So this thing is just something that is just is becoming to be very, very serious. So in the other hand, John is like, okay, so why would a woman do this? Like, he's also bringing the woman thing in womanhood thing into the political, stuff, without actually trying to solve his own problems. And there's something I'm hearing, I think we talked about last week, he got attacked and all of that, and now a lot of people are talking about how all of those things were staged, all of those things were something that he planned. And I was like, why would somebody actually stoop so low to go to the extent of trying to plan an attack on himself, or because he want to get sympathy of the public, or because he want to make people, see reasons why he needs to be elected into the office? Like, I don't think that somebody can actually go to such extent to plan to do something to himself in order to get the public attention or public sympathy. Like, it's just pathetic that someone can actually do such a thing, which I don't know personally if this is, true or false. But the way at which people are reacting to it on, TikTok, social media, and all of that, people were like, he faked everything. He actually, wanted all of those, and with all of the, accusations, or all of the things that he has committed, like all of these things is just something that people have to actually look truly before, casting the vote and all of that. They say that you alone know what you know that is best for you. You alone know what you ought to do. So if you're casting your votes, if you're picking, and when you're picking, it's just your own decision. Nobody should force you to do whatsoever you don't want to do. And the fact that, Kamala, a woman, I actually liked the fact that at least a woman for the first time have to like come into the picture to do something, like to actually contest. And this, I think, is a good thing. But the way at which people are still talking about how she is not fit for it, she can't do it, like it is better someone should be given a chance. And if not, any other person that is so fit should actually, go for it. But to me, these two people, I don't know, the one that is so capable, every other person, every one of them has some kind of skeleton in the cupboard. But it's now less for the public to actually, shove out and see the one that is manageable, the one that is actually gonna be a little bit of beneficiary to the public, to the society, the one that will know what the people actually want, the one that can actually listen to what the people want, the one that will bring stability and actually understand what the masses want, and will be able to actually listen to what the masses has to say. And all of this, why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or whatsoever. We just here for education and informative purposes. So please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload video, you will be the first person to be notified. Alright, lovelies, I will see you when I upload
And if you have watched up to this extent, thank you so much for all the love and support. Why not just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying, harassment, or worse. We're just here for educational purposes. So please subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.